Hello, and welcome to our day 5 end of day live stream. It's Maneksha here, which I am a familiar face to all of you at the summit by now, but just occasionally feel like I should introduce myself again. We just wrapped up our session on virtual reality and the metaverse as Christians, and so we ran all the way up to 8 p.m. and I just needed to grab a quick drink because I am still dealing with mouth shingles. So thank you for your patience as we started a little bit after 8, but we're here and it's the last day of this year's summit in terms of the sort of daily releases and just how it's a lot more intense obviously when we're doing it in real time like this, and we've got sessions being released and we've got a bit more going on with live streams and things, but the exciting thing is that now that we have our community platform, we do have some exciting things planned for the next few months and beyond. So we're looking forward to that. So a couple of things that we are definitely going to be doing. We've got a session with Paul already penciled in to come back and do a talk on music. So that was requested on the, I think, day 2. And so we're going to be doing that with Paul, and we're potentially going to be doing a little small group study of frameworks with Paul as well. Quite a few people had interest in that. So that will be really cool if we're able to do that. And then the other thing, there was another thing that was, Sarah was going to record a talk on speech, and I can't remember the title of it, but it was to do with our mouths and it was going to be for today, but because of me being in hospital on Friday and then yesterday, I just said to her, we're going to roll it out in a few weeks' time and do it as like an extra event for people who want to join us live with a bit more notice for that as well. Hi Anmol, great to see you. Yes, you can totally participate in the giveaway. Great to have you watching from India. Welcome to the live stream. And Trevor, hello, it's good to have you here as well. So we are Karen, hello, it's good to see you. It's great to see people coming in, I think, from the email that I sent out. So good to have you all here. So yes, tonight is, I am actually on the Cheerful Even page as well. So if you're watching on the Cheerful Even page, hello. We do have a little end of day live stream, and we've only had 2 this year, and I was not very well on the first one. And then Fridays we had to cancel because of basically I had a rash in my mouth and it just kept getting bigger, and it was a bit scary how quickly it was growing, and I was pretty sure it was stress related, but went to the hospital and they were like, oh, it's rapid onset mouth ulcers, go home and rinse out with salt water, you'll be fine. Anyway, then continued to get worse and went back yesterday, and it's mouth shingles, so shingles in your mouth. And I have to say that it is one of the worst, most uncomfortable pains from a throat and mouth point of view. And I did have, when I was 16, I had tonsillitis 27 times in 2 years. So I've had my fair share of sore throats, but this is definitely top of the uncomfortable list. So hello, Wendy. It's good to have you here as well. Creative Deftly, you've upgraded from Facebook with your own channel. Yay, so exciting. Animal, use some boiling salt water and give relief. Yes, so I've been doing that. Yes, it's fine. It's just that it did interrupt our live streams a little bit more than anticipated, unfortunately. But anyway, what I thought I would do is give you all a little bit of a lowdown for the community, because we've moved platforms since last year's summit. So and this ties into the Bible Journaling Club and the Cheerful Business Club, because, and it also ties into the session that we've just done looking at virtual reality and some of the challenges around the metaverse and different platforms and who controls our thoughts and who has access to our minds and so on. So all of it ties together. But I'm going to just pull this screen up and bear with me 1 minute. While I make sure that the settings are set so that they, here we go. I think it's here. There we go. So if you have been part of this year's summit, then you will recognize the upcoming screen share. I was going to do this screen share on the first night, but Google Chrome would not let me record my screen. So here we go. Yes. So this is our community platform, which is, if you enjoyed a forum back in the noughties, we're going back old school, but new school. And basically it's community.cheerfullygiven.com. And this is our new platform. So we have been building this for the last 6 months or so, maybe a bit longer than that, as an answer to some of the issues with social platforms and repressing Christian content and so on. So we wanted to have a space where we could connect with people and talk about creativity and not worry about the fact that maybe people wouldn't be able to see things or find things, or even, you know, content getting completely removed from the platform. So this is what it looks like when you're a logged in member. And if we go over here, we can see I've got a little profile, and you can upload a cover image and a little picture of yourself and your name. And then you can share a little bit more about you as well. So this is only visible to other people who are like registered members. And we are very careful about like moderating and making sure that we don't get lots of trolls or anything like that on here. And you can share as much or as little information as you want to, but basically it's just a way for us to be able to connect a little bit more. So you can see that I'm in 2 different groups, and if I click on that, then they come up here, and I've got membership access to the Creative Christianity Summit and Cheerfully Given. Now, both of those are hidden because unless you're part of Cheerfully Selling or the part of the Creative Christianity Summit, those are just private for the people who've registered. So again, there's an extra layer of being in a community, and there are groups that are public and private as well. So private is where they're only visible to people who are registered on the site, and then public are where they are maybe a resource conversation, and people can read the content, but they can't contribute to it unless they're registered. So groups, and if we go to the forum section, then we can see that there's different spaces, and at the minute there's no discussions in quite a few of them because we only launched this week for the summit members. So we can see that the Creative Christianity Summit group, the discussion board, has a post from 2 minutes ago, and that's there. And these will all be built out over time. So if we go onto the summit, all of the past summit content is going to be on here, which is so good because our previous platform that we used, we could only give you 12 months access. But what this means is that if you've registered for any of the past summits, you're going to be able to go back and rewatch those sessions and listen to them, and you've got access to that content for as long as you want it. So if we go to this year's summit, this is what the page looks like. And we've got all of these different sessions, which if we then click on, if I click on that, it will take me, I think you should still be able to see my screen. Yeah, it'll take us over to this session with Lou and Nathan, so we can watch the video, and then you can click and get the song sheet there as well and sing along. So basically it just is a space for you to be able to go back and listen to any of those things again. And where they're grey, so Sent in the Bible, this creative challenge, I am going to record that this week. I was unwell, so it got delayed. But basically all of these sessions are going to be there for you to access as and when. And if you've got an all access pass, then this resource section is going to have different PDFs in it that you can access. So these are 3 that are coming next week. And we're also going to have a visual arts small group with some notes that Jen has provided, and also just like a how-to for setting up a small group and facilitating visual arts. And we've also got a PDF for creating art reflection videos that you can use in your church or with your like youth groups and things like that. That again includes notes from Jen, because her session was super practical and we had loads of questions from that as well. So this resource section is just giving you some different pointers and things to explore and think through when it comes to the senses and the things that we've been talking about with Paul and the other facilitators who've been delivering topical sessions throughout that. So the reason that this ties into the Bible Journaling Club and the Cheerful Business Club is that if you are a member of the Bible Journaling Club, your Bible Journaling Club content will all be here as well. And so that is a monthly membership where each month we have a different theme, and then some of the artists and workshop hosts from the Cheerfully Given community and beyond will record workshops and sessions and create resources that you can print out and use at home, and you'll be able to access those through the community platform. So I'm really excited about it because it means that basically we can but if you need something, we can build it out. So one thing that we talked about last year was being able to create like a checklist for how to run a Bible journaling event at your church. What are some of the things that you would need? What are some of the things that you can think about for inviting people and getting the word out? But also potentially being able to project the sessions in your church and use a one of the workshops from the Cheerfully Given artists to create an event and have an event in your church as well. So in terms of the platform, the Bible Journaling Club is the content is going to be accessible on this community platform, and really is designed to be able to resource people and be as flexible as possible when it comes to putting new things in there, because there were limits with our previous platform. We're also building out an opportunities section, which has previously been very much just like manual and a bit analog. And I just realized that I said monologue instead of analog in my last talk. I'm going to blame not being well. Anyway, when we were thinking through opportunities previously, it was just a bit more of a manual process, and so we've got an opportunities board for people who want to be contributors to the blog and do maybe create tutorials, speak at future events, things like that, just so that we can get more of you involved in things like the summit. And we've got a business summit happening next month, things like that. So we just wanted to have a space where it's easier for us to stay in contact, and maybe for you to be more involved in different Cheerfully Given organized projects and things moving forward. And also one of my personal hopes is that if people join maybe regional groups on the community, then we can start to have some real life meetups in some different parts of the UK a bit more easily as well. So we'll see how it goes, but that would be super, super fun. Judith, I can't remember the dates off the top of my head, but it's like in at least 1 month. So I think it's just before the schools break up. I need to double check, and I'm going to email everyone out tomorrow or Tuesday for the Cheerful Business Club, so I'll let you know. So the Bible Journaling Club, someone asked how much it is. It's £12 a month if you join monthly at the moment, or £9 a month if you join annually. So the price will then be once we've had at least 12 weeks where we're happy that everything's working, the price is going to become £15 a month or £12 a month if you pay annually. So it's basically a little bit of a benefit to paying annually. But to begin with, it's £9 a month or £12 a month, depending on which option you choose. So we're going to be giving away, and that leads me into our first giveaway of the evening, and it leads us into I'm sorry, my brain is just not connecting the dots with sentences and words today. The first giveaway of the evening is membership to the Bible Journaling Club. So we're giving away 2 memberships to the Bible Journaling Club, and that is for 3 months. So you get a 3-month membership into the Bible Journaling Club, and it is relaunching because I have been so beset by many things. I have been running a race beset by many trials over the last 18 months, but the last year since last summit has been hairy. And today, with the mouth sores, I have to say that the Job energy is the strongest it has ever been. So when it comes to just the things that happened over the last like 12 months, we have got some people who joined at the last summit, and we have refunded everyone now. So, but they've been so patient and so kind, and have been part of a couple of events that we've done. So we've done 2, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. And we had 2 different theme days where there was like workshops, downloadable resources, etc. Now, all of that is getting transitioned onto the new platform. We've got tutors who are going to be recording videos that are looking at different techniques and things, as well as some themes for the 12 months ahead to look forward to. So we're looking forward to moving forward with it, and we're going to give away 2 memberships for 3 months, and that will be from July when we reopen the next event. And you'll have access to the content that we've recorded previously, so you can enjoy that while you're waiting for the new stuff. But from the point of the new stuff going live, you'll have 3-month access. So hopefully that makes sense. So to enter the giveaway, all you need to do is pop a little comment on the live stream and tell us what you have enjoyed about Bible journaling so far. If you've done it before, you can tell us which session maybe from the Creative Christianity Summit you've enjoyed in terms of Bible journaling. You can share a passage that you've enjoyed journaling creatively. You can share any of those things, but just really talk to us about what you've been doing with your Bible journaling, what you've enjoyed, if you've enjoyed anything at all, what you enjoy about it. And we'll do the giveaways, we'll announce the giveaways at the end of the live stream. So just start your comment with Bible journaling so that we know it's about Bible journaling, because we are going to do the business club giveaway as well. But tell us something about your Bible journaling experience, story, journey so far, and then we will make sure that your comment is part of that giveaway. So yes, thank you so much, Sarah. So Sarah is my extraordinary like right hand when it comes to all things Bible Journaling Club and community management in general. So she has been helping with the Bible Journaling Club content and the Cheerful Business Club for 2 years. So 2 years for the Cheerful Business Club, and then the last year or so she's been helping out with the Bible journaling stuff. And she's just making a point here in the chat that it is suitable if you are experienced or brand new. And that is true. We try to make sure that with whatever we're doing, we have a range of applications. So if you're completely new and have no confidence whatsoever, then it's a safe space to have fun and to try something new. If you are more experienced, then we might even love to have you facilitate a workshop if you're up for it. You know, there's honestly space for everyone. So the facilitators of the workshops are so brilliant, and they are teaching specific techniques as well as like page layouts and doing sort of devotional content as well. So just wanted to say that I would be a terrible salesperson because honestly not a single sentence has been smooth so far on this live stream. So Anmol, thank you so much for your entry. That's great. It's really good to have you on the live stream. Sarah or Becky, I don't know which of you it is in the comments of but thank you for putting the details into the chat. So Laura is joining from North Carolina, USA. Welcome, Laura. It's always great to have our friends join us from the other side of the Atlantic. I'm just going through the comments and seeing if I've missed any questions. Linda, loved the interview with Sarah earlier. Thank you so much, Linda. So for anyone who missed that, Sarah had COVID in December 2020, and it has resulted in her losing her taste and smell for the last 18 months. So halfway through 2021, she developed parosmia, which is where smells smell and taste like other things. So she can smell things, but they smell like chemicals or taste like chemicals. Or, for one example, is like certain aftershaves might smell like sewage as well, not the intent of the original wearer, I'm sure. But Sarah was sharing a bit more about that because as we've been going through the summit, we've obviously been thinking about senses, and Sarah was just sharing what it was like to have lost hers quite suddenly, and the impact that that's had on life since, and things like just basic things like cooking and feeling safe to eat certain foods and things like that. So it was a really beautiful, vulnerable interview from Sarah, and we're so grateful for her sharing her experiences in that. I've got hiccups now. This live stream is honestly a hot mess. Linda, thank you for your encouragement of Sarah, because you were so encouraging to her earlier as well, and it was honestly so brilliant. So great to see everyone's entries coming through. So Carol, sight and eye session about the colours. I've never had the opportunity to start connecting with scripture and colour at the same time. Just as Paul described the rainbow that is designed for God to look at, drew me even closer to the Bible, his word, and the natural world. Love that, Carol. Thank you so much for sharing. That is just such a lovely encouragement for Paul as well, to see how the talk that he had has impacted you particularly with that. Vicky, haven't participated in this but love to give things a try, would love the Bible journaling. Vicky, yeah, I think you would love the Bible journaling. Helen, would help me to be more disciplined in my journal, love mixed media pages, and need to be doing to really reflect on the Bible. Yes, did you watch the interview with Lisa? Because she is a mixed media artist, and I love her stuff. And I was thinking about the application of things like free machine embroidery and like thread and textiles in Bible journaling while I was editing the video with her. But mixed media pages are one of my favorite things. I'm not very good at painting and art and drawing, but mixed media based things are always, I just find them much easier to engage with personally. So Laura, I've been Bible journaling on my own for years, so this is very interesting. Amazing that you've been Bible journaling for years as well. There's so many people who've been enjoying it individually, and it's really fun to start seeing more and more people doing it in the context of like church groups and small groups and things like that as well. Charlie, hello, it is great to have you here as well. Judith sharing her experience with Bible journaling. It was what helped me back to studying God's word and creativity when I was walking through a season of postnatal depression and redundancy. I find it an amazing way to connect with God and really dig deep into his word and what he's saying to me. Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that, Judith. Nicola, you're here. Great to have you with us this evening. We're just doing a Bible journaling giveaway for anyone who's joining for the first time. The giveaway is for 3 months. We're doing two memberships for 3 months in the Bible Journaling Club when it launches in July. So that's what the giveaway is. And you can just share something about your experience with Bible journaling, something that you've enjoyed, something that you've done. Maybe you've never tried it and you want to. But as long as you just put Bible journaling in the comment, it just helps us to keep track of the entries, just because we've had a few more people join. Nicola, hope you're feeling better. So I'm not actually feeling better in terms of like my actual health, but I am feeling more than refreshed in terms of being part of the summit and everything. So I'm fine, even though my mouth is very painful. There we go. So Ruth, I've tried journaling but struggle to put pen to paper. I love having prompts to follow that start the ideas flowing. Yes, I'm the same. When it comes to like a blank page, having something to like get started. And I think I mentioned this before, but one of the things that I found out online during the last couple of years, I ended up watching different videos by oil paint artists, so fine artists who work with oil paints. And it fascinated me to find out that they put a colour wash over the canvas before they start painting, because it reduces the like overwhelm of starting with a blank white canvas. So they put a wash over, and the person whose videos I was watching did like an orange wash that was really intense orange. I was like, wow, that's a really like intense color to use as your base layer. But it was really, really interesting. Yes. So Sarah is sharing, oh, here we go. So this was the comment that I was trying to share. Sorry. Ruth, that is 100% me. It's also me as well. So this is why I'm showing you Sarah's thing. So hanging out with the Bible journaling members for my first try inspired me so much. Yes, it's amazing. Like, honestly, the people who were part of the initial attempt with the Bible journaling club when my life was like falling to pieces were all so encouraging, and it was just like, honestly, such a lovely space. So we are really excited to be able to connect with everyone more regularly again now that life has calmed down somewhat. Wendy, I've been exploring Bible journaling as a way to improve and deepen my relationship with God, resting in his word while being creative, which is a blessing, using various mediums. Amazing. Anna, I do more prayer journaling than Bible journaling. I've only done Bible journaling a few times and loved painting on a page in my Bible where I painted a crown of thorns with one half including leaves growing on it just before Easter a couple of years ago. Amazing. Love that, Anna. Also love the idea of prayer journaling, and I feel like we should add that in with the Bible journaling, where we do a prayer journaling session once a month as well, because Josephine, who has not been part of the summit this year, which is my own organizational issue, because basically Josephine moved house, she's had internet problems, I've been unwell with COVID and everything while she was moving house, but Josephine is our prayer pastor for the Cheerful Business Club, and it would be awesome to get her doing a session for the Bible journaling club where she like facilitates some prayer and we do some journaling maybe with that. So we could do that. I'll talk to her about it. Charlie, I've tried a bit of Bible journaling. I found a bigger Bible with blank sides next to the text in a charity shop and have used it to sketch in there. So my best hack for Bible journaling is actually using a notebook if you're worried about Bible. So I've got here, and I love this so much, this Bible. Just because it's so fun. So this is the I Am So Many Things journaling Bible, which it's an NIV. It's a Hodder publication. And I was saying to Paul earlier, because the Wonder Box from the giveaway last night is on my desk, and Paul was looking at them and he was like, "Oh, this one's so cool. It's like matte, apart from like the illustration is glass." And I was like, "Oh, love some spot glass." Now this is an example of spot glass because the yellow is matte, but the illustration in the seeds are spot glass, and I love it. Now this is it's such a beautiful Bible, but when I'm reading it, I just enjoy the illustrations that Thea's done, so I haven't journaled in it. And I tend to use so I have this one as an art print, but it's one of her illustrations that says, I don't know if it's the right way around or not for you guys, but it says, "I am engraved on the palms of God's hands." And so absolutely gorgeous Bible. And for those of you who are much braver with paint than I am, I'm sure you would enjoy journaling into it. But for me, I tend to use a separate notebook, especially because I like more of a scrapbooky style of journaling. So the mixed media, I tend to feel a bit more comfortable using a notebook because it's like scrapbook paper. And Paper Chase do a really good like square craft covered like scrapbook that has a wire binding, so like the more you add to it in terms of like paper, there's space for it to grow. So that's just to say this one has "I am bearing good fruit," so it's got all of Thea's artwork all the way through it. But that's an example of me being overfaced by the clean, nice, bright pages of the book and not wanting to journal directly into it, even though it is really lovely to read. It isn't something that I have the confidence to paint into. So yeah, BJC 1.0, Sarah, that is a really good shout there. Charlie, do people use it as a tool to understand God's word deeper? Yes, and also so I didn't talk about this on Friday because we didn't do our live stream, but part of the reason that we wanted to explore senses for this for this particular summit is because the last year in particular has been such a roller coaster that at points I have experienced a degree of, I don't know how to describe it. Burnout is a word that a lot of people take like a really extreme word. And it isn't quite burnout in that sense, but there was a degree of like intellectual burnout where I just like consumed too much content or had too many things going on. And I just was like, I don't have the energy to like go to church and learn more. So I was just feeling like very, very much unable to be take the initiative and like study, read, learn, do, and take action, because I just felt really exhausted. And this is again, I mentioned this the other night, and it's not a reflection on the preacher at all, but I remember in the autumn somebody was preaching at church and they said, what are you going to do for God this week, as part of their sermon, which, you know, is something that will often come up as a like challenge at the end of a sermon when people are doing the application bit. And I just remember feeling like this really physical sense of being like weighed down as that was said, because I was like, I can't do anything, like nothing. And I just like, I got home and like cried because I was just like, I'm not going to do anything. I can't do anything this week. Like, I don't know how to answer that question. And at the same time, I was dealing with a lot of sensory burnout because of the house move and the DIY that we're doing, and just like being incredibly overwhelmed by everything that was going on in our physical environment. So we'd been talking to Paul about it. Paul and Liz and the Blackhams live just down the road, and we'd been talking about it. And Paul suggested doing, I think it was Paul that suggested it. I'm pretty sure it was. And normally the good ideas are Paul's. So I'm pretty sure it was Paul who had suggested doing the sentences for the summit this year. And the idea of it is that we don't only meet Jesus intellectually. And so if we're exhausted and, you know, in a pit, Jesus lifts us out of the pit. He, like, that's what so many of the Psalms are like. I was in a pit and the Lord saved me. So the idea of us feeling like we're in a pit is something that is filled with hope as Christians, because Jesus lifts us out of that pit. So yes, it's rubbish to be in a pit, but we don't need to do anything to get out of the pit. We don't need to be the ones who climb up the sides of the pit. And actually, we will try to do that often because we are obsessed with saving ourselves. But as we're climbing up the pit and failing, we're just making ourselves more and more exhausted. And so what happens when you're in that pit and you don't have the capacity emotionally or like mentally or intellectually or whatever way you want to describe it to go to church and be an active participant in Bible study? Like, how do you meet Jesus? And historically, church has been much better at visuals and the senses and things being more of a church being a sensory presentation, a multimedia sensory presentation of the living God. And when we see the tabernacle, we see that that was a multisensory experience of what church is all about. And we don't necessarily have a lot of that in 2022. And so what we wanted to think about was that, okay, so how do we know who Jesus is? Through the things that we taste and eat, and the things that we touch, and the things that we see, and the things that we hear, and the things that we smell. What does it mean to have Jesus presented to you in your physical human body, even if you intellectually can't engage with and process what's going on in a way that you might be expected to with how things are. So that's kind of where inspiration came from for the theme of this year's summit. And it also helps us to know Jesus in every part of our lives, right? Because we're always engaging with our environment through our senses. And so if we know that certain parts of creation, certain that we perceive, that we see, or certain sounds, certain smells, certain flavors, certain experiences, textures and things like that are pointing us to Jesus, then that becomes just a subconscious reminder for many of us. Like the example that I use is the Psalm 45 thing, where when Jesus returns, he'll smell like cinnamon. And I said that on the Facebook page for Cheerfully Given like a few months ago, and loads of people are like, where does it say that in the Bible? And it says it in Psalm 45, and it's like, oh yeah, I would never have noticed that or thought of that before, but now every time I smell cinnamon or taste cinnamon, I'm like, oh, Jesus is going to smell like this when he returns. So there's things like that where they are, it isn't just like we meet Jesus at church on a Sunday. It's like we walk in step with him every day as part of life, and all of creation is about him. And what does it mean for creation to proclaim who Jesus is? So when we think about things like Bible journaling, we meet Jesus in the Bible. We meet we get to know him, we get to know who he is through the Bible. But the Bible isn't just an intellectual experience. It isn't just for us to sit and to read it and to think, oh yes, this is what the Bible is saying. Now let me make sure that I've intellectually processed this piece of scripture by answering 4 or 5 questions about this piece of scripture. And there's that kind of like formulaic, like it's almost like a bit academic, a bit school, it's kind of thing. It's like a school project. Like, let me do a little book report on chapter 2 of 2 Kings. And so that's great. And it's brilliant. And it's great to like look at the meaning of words and context and all of those things, like really brilliant to do. But it's not the only way to understand what's going on in the passage. And so when we do things like Bible journaling, or we notice things about the environment that's being described, they open up the Bible to us in a way that is often just very different, but also very engaging. And we talked to Simon from Word for Word Bible Comics last year, and he has like basically created like comic books out of the Bible, and he's done an incredible job. But the word for word thing comes for like every word is included, but he does things like looks at the plants that would have been in that particular context, and it's creating like visuals, and then thinking, oh, okay, so that's I wonder what it would have smelled like. I wonder what the light was like. I wonder what clothes people were wearing. I wonder how people would have felt. They've been, if it was hot and they were in a desert and it was and they were wearing a robe because they'd come from like a cooler part further north, were they itchy? There's things like that, right? That are questions we've never asked ourselves as we read the Bible. But when we're doing things like Bible journaling, it's helping us to picture what was happening and to think about, okay, well, these things are real stories that happened, and just understanding it in a way that goes beyond just intellectual processing of information. And one of the things that stood out to me this last like 18 months or so, I can't remember when and where I heard this, but somebody said it and I need to find the source, but it's the idea that you can't express a thought. You can only express a close approximation of a thought, because your ability to express thoughts is limited by your vocabulary and your ability to communicate, right? So if we think about the words on a page, they are communicating a thought, but especially if they're like translations as well, there's always going to be extra things that we can know about something that go beyond the verbal and go beyond words, and often that is sensory input, and it comes back to the idea that like 70% of communication is non-verbal, and body language plays in a huge part. So there's all of these things that we like know because we're told them, but the reality of how we communicate and how we process information is often very verbal and very much based in the intellectual logical processing parts of our brain. So Bible journaling just helps us to step outside of that, even if we're not creative, even if we don't paint or we're not artists and we don't do lettering or calligraphy. Just challenging ourselves to think about, okay, let me think about what was going on visually in this passage. What would the smells have been like? This herb was mentioned with this herb. What happens if I go into my kitchen and find a couple of herbs that might be close approximations and mix them? What does it smell like? So there's things like that that's not, strictly Bible journaling, because that's like going in your kitchen and hanging out with the spices, but it's part of that experience of what was going on in these Bible passages, in these incredible stories that tell us more about who Jesus is and what life looks like with him. So that was a really big answer to that question, but I just thought that from a Bible journaling point of view, loads of us might think, oh, I'm not creative, or like, oh, I don't know what to do with paint and things like that. And like, I'm one of those people. I love other people's creativity, but I also just want to know more about who Jesus is, and actually understand that if we only engage with our intellects, we're choosing limitation. We're choosing not to know and think through as much as we could. So hopefully that it just kind of clears up a little bit of why I enjoy it as someone who is not artistic. That's a bit more about Bible journaling. Yeah, Laura, learning about the senses this week. Loved hearing Paul speak about it being designed to hear music to the glory of God. Yes, amazing. Honestly, the talks have been incredible. And just like the amount of work and thought and time that Paul has put into the talks for this year's summit is like incredible. I'm so grateful to him for just what immense truths that he shared. And I think we can all go back and like listen to the talks 2 or 3 more times at least, to just like reflect on what the implication is for us to hear music, for us to taste food, for us to see colors and see creation. So yes, it is. So Wendy uses paper or card and puts it on the wall so she can reflect on what God was or is saying to her. So that's a really great alternative to a notebook as well. And it means that you can reflect on it through the week as well. Lynn, Bible journaling would be something new for me. I love to write, color, paint, etc. It would deepen my walk with God. I'm glad I was finally able to join you from Massachusetts, USA. It's so good to have you here, Lynn. Really lovely to see your name pop up. Trevor says, greetings, Lynn, from the UK branch of the family. Alexis, I found it hard the first time I journaled into a Bible because I'd always been told not to write into books or draw or even underline because books are precious. Yes, Alexis, I definitely think that's part of what's going on for me as well. And also, like, I grew up in a so like my dad and my dad's family and my dad are Muslim, and obviously the Quran is a book that families keep on the top shelf, and it don't wash your hands before you touch it and all of those things, and then the church tradition that I was in was very would like make notes and things in a Bible, but like art and creativity would be too abstract and too like suspicious. So both of those things combined for me to feel very, very stressed about writing in Bibles, not only because of wanting to be like a good witness to my family, but also just this whole idea of like, can I write in the Bible? Like, what does this like, what does this look like? So there's a lot of people who've got baggage for various reasons around like writing in books and things as well. So if you're one of those people, then you are in good company. So Sarah, 4 days later, and I'm still processing that I can listen out in the silence, not listen in. The presence and the time are what matters. Yes, totally mind-blowing, isn't it? Sandra, I haven't tried Bible journaling yet, but definitely going to have a go, which will hopefully help me focus after what's been happening in life over the last 2 years. Brilliant. Charlie, you make reading sound much more exciting. I think it's reading is exciting, but often like what people the settings in which we read are often dull. So if we are, if we think about things like school and even like the way that the way that a lot of reading is done in public environments, and even sometimes like dare I say in church, like reading is like, oh, let's hope the Bible reading is not too long because but we have someone in our church now who has the most immaculate reading voice, honestly. And anytime like he's reading, I'm like, oh, I hope that we have a really good long passage, because listening to him like read the Bible just is so rich and it is just so enjoyable to listen to. So I think if we think about the way that that we're experiencing that, like, yes, we're reading out loud. Okay, so what are some of the things that make reading out loud enjoyable? Well, the way that the Bible is read, the timbre of somebody's voice, the pronunciation of the words, the way that the passage is read in terms of the like rhythm and pace, and the emphasis that is being put on different words. All of those things are going to help us to enjoy it a lot more, right? If there's excellence in the way that it's delivered. So just from a reading point of view, I think that we can and I like the Dwell Bible app because they have some really great audio Bibles, by the way. So if you do Bible journaling, like, it's a really good app to have from an audio Bible point of view. But I think that so many of the things that we have the perception of them being like boring or inaccessible or dull or not great, it's often just because we've been in environments where they haven't been done that well before, and as soon as you experience it being done well, it's like, oh, this is amazing. And I think it's also why, like, I never really liked Bible commentaries. I went to like theological college for 2 years, but I never really liked Bible commentaries until I started reading Paul's like book by books. So we mentioned these on live stream, and I just have them handy because we did a giveaway last night. But these are so short, and I have the attention span of a squirrel. So one, they're like compact, but it's because Paul like really gets to the point and gives you like a chapter of stuff that you can be reflecting on and thinking about for weeks. So you're not wading through pages and pages and pages. You're just really able to meet Jesus in that particular book of the Bible, and it gets to the good stuff. So Bible commentaries before that were boring. Now they're not so much. Not all Bible commentaries are boring. I don't want to be cancelled, but I think that a lot of people can relate to if you're studying to like speak on a Bible passage or something like that, and you've got like 7 different commentaries. Everyone has their favorites, right? And I really enjoy the book by book ones. So creative deftly living, that's been me this week. I hadn't realized how empty, overwhelmed and broken from my current life situation. I needed this summit so much, and my spirit is light and full of possibilities. That is so encouraging to hear. So thank you so much for sharing that. Honestly, that has like really warmed my heart. I like relate a lot to it, because that is why the summit is the way that it is this year, is because life has been really hard, and we've all been dealing with a lot of hard situations anyway, just in terms of like baseline existence as a human is quite stressful. And then on top of that, when you're dealing with really difficult personal situations and things, there's just a huge amount to be carrying, and to just be reminded that life with Jesus is a joy. His burden is light, and he takes our burdens. And there's that great verse in Matthew, and I'm going to pull it up because, again, my brain is not remembering things as well as it normally does, due to the whole mouth scurvy. So I'm going to put it in the chat as well. I honestly said, I said to Paul, I was like, the absolute irony, and not irony, like irony is the wrong word, okay? I was like, taking it very personally that on the days of skin and mouth, I have like a skin issue in my mouth. I'm like, Lord, I feel like convicted, but please, like, forgive me of whatever it is that has resulted in this. Anyway, that's really bad theology. Ignore what I just said. But when it happened, I was like, is this something that is like is it a divine joke? It feels like a joke. But anyway, hopefully you can see the funny side of it. And thank you. Sarah's put it in already. I have Schadenfreude. Yes. So with the Bible passage that I've just put in, it's Matthew 11 verses 28 to 30, and it says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So Jesus gives us rest, and we are all feeling burned out from various things, and the last 2 years have been incredibly intense and difficult. And the idea of giving our burdens to Jesus is always something that we talk about, but many of us have never been in a situation where our burdens are crushing us into the ground. And unless we give them to Jesus, then we will be broken. And, there's no way out. There's no way of saving ourselves. And so, in those moments, the passages that we see Jesus promise us these things where he takes our burdens, he gives us rest, he takes the heaviness and he gives us rest in return. And we can find comfort and joy and rest in our heavy circumstances because Jesus will carry those burdens for us and in return give us something that is easy and light to carry. And that as a passage, I think, is something many of us need to hear and remember as we come out of the last couple of years and as we deal with how challenging life is and has been for so many. So that was another little tangent, but I think it's a real joy to remember that however hard this passing age is, and Sarah touched on this in terms of like the art of lament and just how recognizing that things are hard and they're meant to be hard. Deuteronomy 28 talks about what life looks like under the curse, and we're living under the curse now because this passing age is cursed by sin. The curse is not our inheritance, blessing is our inheritance. And we know that Jesus is coming back and that he will renew all of creation, and that our inheritance is rest and joy and eternal life with him. But it doesn't mean that right now the consequences of living in this cursed age are not incredibly difficult to deal with. So that verse in Matthew 11, 28 to 30 is a real reminder and encouragement of the practical way in which Jesus cares about our burdens. Trevor, it was your baptismal verse. Amazing. I love that. It's such a good verse. Sarah, this is one of my favorite verses and has helped me through some really difficult moments. Sarah, be still and know I'm God feels so hard. Being still is hard, but it can be translated as let go and know that I'm God. Yeah. Sarah, so these are 3 different Sarahs that I've just been reading comments out for anyone who isn't in the comments. Sarah's still finding my creativity is rock bottom. So I'm starting small, picking a verse from Sunday sermons and writing in different fonts and adding borders helps me to listen to. Yeah, I like the rock bottom piece of creativity. I could talk more about this. Sorry, I'm trying to like filter what is for the environment of today, like filter what's what. Our creativity often feels rock bottom when there are other things like crowding in. So the easiest way to explain what I could talk about for 20 minutes is that creativity flourishes in an environment where there is no responsibility, when there is no like fear or heaviness or difficulty, and where our minds can be like free to roam. So if we are exploring something new and we have space for like joy and excitement, then creativity can flourish. Creativity also flourishes as problem solving in hard situations, but that creativity is often reactive to needing to find a way to do something that is going to make life easier or more bearable, rather than creativity that comes out of having space to just enjoy color, enjoy the freedom of creating. So when we are in a space of like creative rock bottom, and again, rock bottom, I've just been like hanging out. It's no longer called rock bottom, it's called Manexha's party pad. Come and join me, let's have a whale of a time. But with rock bottom, that sense of like space is much harder to find, and there are different things that can help different people. For me, it's really random, but like if anything to do with like water really helps me to get enough mental space away that I start to have creative thoughts again. And for some people, it's changing their environment and going to something like a coffee shop, something that is providing like a kind of stimulation that you're not getting in your normal day to day, and that helps to like unblock the creativity. Anyway, we can talk about this in another session. I'll do another live session soon, and we can do something that's like topical, because there's loads of people in the like Cheerfully Giving community who all would have such good like wisdom and input around this topic. And I'm just back in the chat reading comments here, sorry. Sarah, it's the best name. Yes, it clearly is today, especially. Sarah, it's worth looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Creativity needs all of our needs, like safety, to exist, and gives reassurance when it feels hard in these tough times. Yeah, so Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, every time I reference it, I say this, but there is something in like the thought around this stuff. But basically Maslow's hierarchy of needs is here. And I have Christian thoughts on this as well. But anyway, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So just from a creative like space point of view, Sarah's point is great, and I use Maslow's hierarchy of needs quite often when I'm talking about marketing, because we define like want and need as like, oh, creativity isn't something that someone needs. It's like, no, we do need creativity, it's just we don't need it to survive. So it depends like what do you need it for. So anyway, there's something around this where someone's like inverted it, and I need to do some more thinking on it. So don't take this as a recommendation of this theory, but this is the theory. So physiological needs are like the foundational things of like air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. There we go. That's so physiological needs is like our survival needs and what we need to survive. Then we've got safety, so security, employment, resources, health, property, love and belonging, esteem, self-actualization, and normally creativity comes at the top bit. However, creativity is not about self-actualization. Creativity is often about creativity is about proclaiming Jesus. So that's one particular thing where I'm like, don't recommend it. But the point still stands that for us to be able to creatively express anything, if we've got any of those like survival needs or safety-based things that are not consistent, then it makes creativity much harder. So really good point to note. We're all coming out of a season of like safety and physiological needs not being an assumption. Like we can't assume health anymore, and that's had an impact on everything else. So we've been faced with all of these things that are shaking this foundation of what is reality now? Like, we might catch this viral disease that is a pandemic, and it's having an impact on the economy and our jobs and all of these things, and all of these assumptions that we've made about how our lives look and what we need in order to exist and survive. And unfortunately, I'm not saying this with any judgment at all, because I'm saying, like, I have not had a good 2 years. I'm saying this, like, to myself as well, but what it has shown us is that many of us are not actually stood on Jesus. We are instead stood on a lot of the things that are, like, socialized and in our culture to be the important foundations of security and safety as adulthood. Now, we are all safe and secure stood on Jesus. But when all of these other things are going on around us, and when we're faced with these transitions and changes, all of those things feel incredibly, incredibly difficult, because it speaks to our sense of existence and so on. So it is normal that all of us are feeling exhausted and burnt out, and like it has just been a slog to get through here. And we can stand on Jesus as our firm hope and remind ourselves of that, even when everything feels uncertain. And I said this the other day as well, so I do apologize for repeating myself, but I had points last year where I just couldn't, I had no energy to even believe. But listening to worship music from people like Lee Fellingham and Nathan Fellingham, who have done our worship this week, they've reminded me in those moments of what it means to love and follow Jesus, what it means for him to be the center of reality, and for him to be what life is all about, and to have faith and trust in him. So with that sense of, like, creativity might feel hard, that is totally normal if you're experiencing that. Other people are going to find that creativity comes naturally in these moments, because it's the way that you are able to like, externalize and express what's going on. But if you're an internal processor, and you're also just faced with many trials, then it might be that the ability to, like, express creatively is something that feels harder at the moment than it normally does. So Judith, I take breaks to care for my plants, and then come back feeling refreshed and focused to create. Love that. And just engaging with nature as well. Don't look at my plants because there is at least one on my shelf that is dead, and maybe I need to take a leaf out of Judith's book and take breaks to care for them when I'm feeling like I need a creative refresh. Charlie, was part of your business club for a short while. My business seems like it's a mess. Definitely more ideas than sales. Not sure whether to keep it going. More ideas than sales is such a classic creative like situation to be in. So don't fear. We're all very similar. That brings the second giveaway. Totally forgot about the second giveaway. The second giveaway is for the Cheerful Business Club. So we'll do that. We'll do that in just a minute when I've caught up with the comments. Sarah, pressure. That is so true. During COVID, we had responsibility for our centre, even though it was closed. Maybe now we're fully open, that pressure will ease. Yeah. Yeah, the pressure piece is difficult, isn't it? It's a conversation for another time. I love a tangent. You know, I love a tangent. I think the pressure thing is so hard, because something that I've seen in the professional space is that during the pandemic, loads of people, obviously everyone's working from home. And so their working hours extended to include what normally would have been their commute. So let's say normally you work 9 till 5 and you commute for an hour. So you work 8 till 6. So instead of working 9 till 5, you worked 8 till 6. That's the time that you would normally work. But then maybe you had, you took a few more breaks, like in the middle of the day, you took a longer lunch, but you felt guilty because you're taking a longer lunch. Even though you're working more hours and you're doing more work, the pressure of, like, I'm not working, I'm not being productive, and I don't have any boundaries or space. And now people are going back into the office and they're being expected to be in the office from 8 till 6 instead of from 9 till 5, because they were previously working 8 till 6 during the pandemic. So now they're having to leave the house at 7 and then they get back home at 7. And it's just this idea that like there's a lot of people who've taken a lot of responsibility on during the pandemic and they felt a lot of pressure. And then now, as we come out of it, that pressure is being continued and it's now expected as like the new normal. So I think the thing that lots of us potentially could use some confidence in is saying, actually, no, this pressure was for a season, and this is not my responsibility to feel this pressure on a long-term basis. I'm not paid enough to feel this pressure all the time. And so actually at this point, this is where we say, no, like you can't continue to put that pressure on people now because the pandemic is over and you can't sustain that. It's not sustainable. Yeah, no, it's I don't mind going on tangents, but I'm always really concerned that you're all going to be thinking, not another tangent, like we started about 8 steps ago on something that was entirely different. Anyway, that was just some thoughts on that, because the sense of pressure that we feel is like it's connected to us having boundaries as well. And like in the pandemic, all of our boundaries got taken away because everything became virtual. And to tie in with our previous session on virtual reality, we don't know how to exist in a virtual reality with the boundaries that we need to have to sustain life as humans. So when you go into the virtual space, there's no like handbook for how to exist. All the boundaries get cut down. People have access all the time in ways that they shouldn't have access. We need that space, and the physical creates a good boundary for that, where we have that space. The virtual doesn't. And so what a lot of us are dealing with is actually the virtual space has broken down our boundaries, and lots of us care about others in a way that means that we don't necessarily have great boundaries to begin with. And so putting them in place in a virtual environment is even more difficult, because there's no like handbook for like, this is how to have a boundary in a virtual space when people can contact you on like 4 different devices in your home. So anyway, it's a tangent, but it is related to the talks that we've been having, and just the idea of human life. Block user. There we go. We had some spam on YouTube. Sarah, delirious lyrics on Christ the Solid Rock, we will stand, all other ground is sinking sand, comes to mind. Yes. And also that is that might be some delirious lyrics, but let's credit the original. Let's credit the original. And I believe, who wrote this originally? Edward Mote in 1797 to 1874, with music by William Batchelor Bradbury. So there we go. That is a 19th century hymn right there. But on Christ the Solid Rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. And the lyrics of that are incredibly helpful as reminders that everything else around us is sinking sand unless we are fixed on Jesus. Yeah, totally, Sarah. The delirious one is great, and there's quite a few other people who've done it. I think Hillsong's done a version of it as well. But I'm just it's like the thing where all of the movie studios at the minute are like remaking sequels. I feel like a lot of the worship bands are like redoing traditional hymns, but when you then Google them, the original authors don't come up. But that one was one that we sang in our church growing up, like when I was a teenager, and they were very much against contemporary music. So I was like, there's no way that is originally a delirious hymn, because I would not have known it if it was. Here we go. Now, second giveaway of the night. So Bible journaling giveaway, we're going to announce it shortly. We'll try to finish up by like 9:15. It is 9:15 by 9:30. If nothing else, because my throat is starting to feel very uncomfortable. And we are going to do a little giveaway of the Cheerful Business Club. So the Cheerful Business Club, what is it? First things first, we are having, I mentioned this already, we're having a Christian Business Summit in July. It's going to be a selection of sessions that are exploring what themes of business as followers of Jesus. So that is going to be happening in July. It will be the same format as this one, where it's free to access to watch it for like to watch the sessions for 24 hours, and then you can pay for access to the replay. But the Cheerful Business Club started 2 years ago after our 2020 summit. So we launched it in August, I believe, 2020. And we launched it as a like beta round because I have been asked by so many different people for like business advice over the course of running Cheerfully Given. Obviously, we work with business owners in Cheerfully Given already. And then because I work as a marketing consultant, I get a lot of stuff from people about like the online business space and like marketing and selling stuff online. And so the Cheerful Business Club, as it is called now, started in 2020 to kind of test what that would look like as we support the creative business owners who sell through Cheerfully Given, people who want to run a creative business but maybe aren't quite ready to sell on Cheerfully Given yet, or don't quite want to take that next step, people who are service providers and don't sell products, so they don't sell on Cheerfully Given because of that, you know, etc., etc. So we basically had all these people who were like, oh, I would love to get some business support. And the original version of the Cheerful Business Club was called the Tent Peg Collective, and that was based out of like Isaiah 54, where the Lord tells us like clear lots of ground for your tents and spread your tent pegs wide. But when we rebranded Cheerfully Given last year, we created the Cheerful Business Club to tie the branding together so that the visuals all work, because we love a good visual. And so the Cheerful Business Club is the name of the monthly membership for business owners. So it's £30 a month, $39 if you're paying in USD. We do have both currencies for both the Bible journaling and the Cheerful Business Club. But it's a monthly membership. And what we have done is created a framework really of how we love and follow Jesus and confidently grow our businesses as his followers. So we have two pathways. We have walk in wisdom and we have work with excellence. So walk in wisdom is about how we grow in wisdom as followers of Jesus. How do we have the wisdom of Solomon as we walk in step with the Spirit, as we have discernment, as we think about things like stewardship, as we think about generosity, as we think about belief, as we think about the impact of our actions and our responsibility, and the idea of things like influence as Christians, like those things that that feed into our core beliefs of who Jesus is, that impact our actions. And then the work with excellence business skills are tutorials and specific like masterclasses and course content and tutorials for how to do things well. So that would be things like selling on Etsy, or email marketing, or you know, creating a website, you know, some of the practical things that come with like how do you sell online, for instance. So the Cheerful Business Club has content which is like, okay, how do we confidently grow our businesses and price our products and services and step out with confidence in the space of business as Christians. And then there are a group of mentors who provide support through, we've got monthly masterclasses and prayer sessions. And then we have got quarterly planning sessions with our mentors, providing time for like input and answering questions on specific different areas of business. and you can submit a question to them and they'll record you a little video. So we've got like our knowledge base has like over 400 videos from our mentors who've answered all of these different questions, and you can like search it at any time. But we also have loads of resources, so like how to price yourself as a like spreadsheet calculator, how to write product descriptions if you're a product-based business owner, daily planner that you can print out and use to help structure your day and just start to think through what does it look like for today to be successful, using the measure of the kingdom of God instead of the measure of the world. So the space for the Cheerful Business has come out of the fact that Cheerfully Given has always supported business owners. Really, that's like how we started, was supporting business owners, and then all the business owners got together, and that's when Cheerfully Given started to say, look at what all these amazing business owners are doing. So just from a audience point of view, obviously for Cheerfully Given, we talk about creativity, we talk about the products on the marketplaces that the sellers are creating and everything, but we've always had that like business support element, and the Cheerful Business Club is a space where we can provide resources that are Jesus-centered and that are helping people to step out and to do that, because we all can often have baggage around charging for things in the Christian space, for instance. So Paul records like devotionals, and he's working on some at the moment. We're going to be adding more over the next few weeks and months. We've got Patrick and Maya from Levent Collective, who are always like really popular with the summit. Popular is the wrong word, but they always get, their sessions are always very much enjoyed by people at the summit. Liz Mosley, graphic designer, Josephine, who is our prayer pastor and does like monthly prayer sessions as well. So it's more than just me. I'm there, but it's like we have a whole gaggle of people who just love Jesus and love business. So for the Cheerful Business Club, we're going to give away 2 memberships. And that will be also for 3 months. So you'll get a 3-month membership for 2 different people. And all you need to do is let us know in the comments, 1, if you run a business, 2, what your business is. Tell us about your business in the comments. And if you want to nominate a friend for this, if you don't run a business, but you know somebody who does, honestly, as a business owner, people like, when it comes to like gift giving, if you're a business owner, one of the best gifts can be like nerdy business things. And so if you have a friend who's a business owner, nominate them in the chat, and if they win a like little 3-month membership, you will go way up in their field of like gift giving joy, because buying gifts for business owners is like buying gifts for gardeners. Like if you run a business, you are definitely nerdy about business stuff. So you can like nominate somebody and tell us about their business in the chat as well, and we will love to go and explore more about who they are and what they do. So all you need to do is in the comments just say what your business is, and then we'll enter you into that giveaway, and then we will announce the winners of both of those giveaways in the next 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to just have a little look here. So yeah, Charlie, 2 books, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, and one about the morning pages, writing what's on your mind, putting in an envelope and then refocus. This helped me at college to come up with new ideas. Nice. Yeah, so loads of people in the business space talk about morning pages as well as being, so I worked with a coach once who every morning would sit and write 3 pages as just like a stream of consciousness before she started her day. And I think that somebody else has mentioned it to me recently. To be honest, it is not something that I've ever done, because I don't really want to be faced with a stream of my own consciousness. There's probably a bit of fear going on there. I don't really think that I want to put a stream of consciousness on a page for me to see and for it to exist. Like, it's bad enough that it's in my head without documenting it. So it is, I know it's incredibly valuable, and I at some point will definitely try it. But I think that I just haven't had the resilience to address how uncomfortable it makes me to do. But loads of people rave about it as a practice. So Fee and Kay, yes, on the business summit. So it's just going to be I think probably 3 days. I've got all of the notes for it, but I wanted to make sure that this summit worked on the new platform before I fully like fleshed out the one in July. So I've got dates and a like structure, but not the specifics of sessions that we're going to be having in it. Kay, you are so precious. Love that. So here, Kay is just sharing her experience. So Kay, we haven't opened the doors to the business club again since we started it. So it's been like 2 years. But partly because last year I just was really unwell and didn't want to risk having like a really big Christian Business Summit, for instance, and then not being well enough to host it and so on. So we are now back to normal scheduling, but we also have a new platform for the Cheerful Business Club, which is similar to the community, same layout and everything. So if you're in the community, the layout of the business club will make sense to you as well, but using the same format, but with the forums, etc., so that we can use those to share wisdom and encouragement and answer questions and so on too. Honestly, we are dealing with quite some spam on YouTube. Vicky has a cross stitch and diamond art business called A Real Blessing, I think. I just want to be totally sure. Sarah is Julia Cameron, right? Yeah, I think it is Julia Cameron. Yes, because it's part of the Artist's Way. Yeah. Trevor, I have a tiny business where I design 3D digital art. Amazing, Trevor, that you are in the 3D space. Really interesting. That we're going to do another session on 3D art because it is a really great opportunity for artists and creatives to develop the skills around 3D and digital art. We just want to be mindful of the virtual environment while we do it, and produce art prints and greetings cards, subjects, fantasy, sci-fi, humorous, biblical, etc. Amazing. Judith, I'm already a member of the Cheerful Business Club, so I'm going to nominate my friend Christina B. Brilliant. Thanks, Judith. Charlie, Creation 26, ethically printed t-shirts and tote bags, lino cut printed tote notebooks. Developing this now. Also items made out of source fabrics, made into headscarves, toys, cushions, covers, pouches, etc. Yes, Trevor, your comment above for the Cheerful Business Club. Got that, don't worry. Brilliant. So good to see those comments coming through. And yeah, Dorothy, I can totally understand what you mean, Alexis. I can't bring myself to write in any books, even when they're journals. I have been sorting out my office and putting some shelves up. I said that I would give you an office tour, but it's still looking pretty ropey in terms of I've got stuff everywhere. So I'll maybe do one next week when I've had more time to tidy. But if you were here the other day, you will note that we have no more boxes on the floor, but we do still have Dougal's bed, but Dougal is sat there on the floor. Look, having a little doggy snooze. I need to put some of the other art up and things, but it's the office is not as bad as it was. But I found so many notebooks that over the years I've collected and then not wanted to write in because they're too nice to write in, which is so ridiculous. But I think we're all the same. We all just appreciate a good bit of stationery and don't want to ruin it with our writing. Honestly, with the YouTube spam, I've never experienced it so intensely. Helen Moyes Designs, Cheerful Business Club. I make creative kits and textile art cards and gifts and would love some faith input. Amazing. Charlie, yes, The Artist's Way. Couldn't remember the name. Yes. So I have The Artist's Way on my shelf, but I have not yet read it. So I'm going to read that over the summer, I think. Amazing. So bear with me 1 minute here. I will double check the dates for when things are launching and so on. I should have checked them beforehand, but I will do it. and put it in an email summary tomorrow. Trevor, thank you so much for reporting them. I've blocked them from this end, so I'm hoping that that gets rid of the comments as quickly as possible en masse. But I am trying to block them from like the account. It just doesn't seem to be coming up. Thank you all for being part of the block and report squad. Sarah, I love new notebooks. I was writing page 3, so I don't ruin them. That is such a good tip right there. Fee. So I'm bringing Fee up here. She says, haha, Sarah. I brought Fee up because you can see her profile picture is Creative Stationery in London. Fee creates notebooks and is like a professional bookbinder. So Fee is probably looking at all these things thinking, guys, come on, start using your notebooks so that you can top up and get your new ones from Creative Stationery London. So I have a Creative Stationery London Fee crafted notebook that is on my desk that I still have not brought myself to write in because I'm like, it's too nice. And I literally know the person who could make me another one. It's so funny. Christina just joined. Are you giving away journals? No, we're giving away membership to the Bible Journaling Club for 3 months, and we're giving away 3 months of membership to the Cheerful Business Club. But we're just talking about journaling and how loads of us have got notebooks and things that we think are too nice to write in. So we're just having a little chat about that. So Creative Deftly Living, CBC, I keep being told that I should sell my verse and lyric illustrations, but I'm very afraid of the practical process. Totally normal as well. Like loads of people are in the exact same boat. So that is a completely normal experience for those starting out. Charlie, being part of Acid helps me anti-copying and design. Yes, Acid anti-copying and design is a great resource. They've helped a lot of people who've had their work ripped off by places like you know, Georgia Asda and all that kind of thing. Primark, I think, as well. Kay, your comment has come up. So I've got I'm seeing comments from you. Amazing. So we're going to announce our Bible Journaling Club winners. So as a reminder, the Bible Journaling Club winners are winning a 3-month membership. 2 people are going to win a 3-month membership to the Bible Journaling Club when we relaunch it in July. So we just wanted to do that as a little summit giveaway for everyone who's been part of it so far this year, and hopefully just bless a couple of people who can go on to enjoy some of the workshops and sessions from our team of Bible journaling tutors. So we've got 2 winners who have been randomly chosen by they've been randomly chosen by the team, and they are Carol Carudin and Lynn Hancock. So I'm going to put your names up in the chat so that you can see. Carol Carudin and Lynn Hancock, you have won a 3-month membership to the Bible Journaling Club. So if you could email hello@cheerfullygiven.com with your details, and Sarah will make sure that you get added to the members list for when we send out all the dates for the coming year, and you'll see you'll get access for the 3 months from the point that we relaunch. So Laura, are these clubs only resourceful if you're in the UK and in the US? No, we have members from all over the world. We've got people in the US, Canada, the Philippines, and the UK, and I think we have someone in South Africa as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but no, it's pretty much you know, there's certain things, like we would say, obviously from a tax point of view, we don't give tax advice because we're not about the tax life in terms of advising, but we would just say, you know, if there's something that's regional, you need to check out that. So from a like I do the marketing stuff, for instance. And one example of a geographic thing is GDPR, where we'd say, like, if you're in the EU, you need to be aware of GDPR. And if you're in the US and you've got customers or people on your mailing list who are in the EU, then you have to be aware of GDPR as well. So there are things where we will mention if there's like a geographic concern or difference, but they are designed to be applicable for the virtual space, because it's growing your business with a lot of the things are online skills or practical skills that are regardless of where you live. And then from a walking wisdom point of view, it's Christian, Jesus-centered mindset work. So that again is not geographically limited, but super question. And we do have our memberships available in obviously we're in the UK, so we have you can register as a member in GBP, our currency, or you can register as a member with US dollars. So we do have both options available from a currency point of view. Perfect. So I don't know why there wasn't a space between Carol and Lynn's names, but they are there. So we're coming towards the end of the evening, and we are going to announce the winners of the Cheerful Business Club membership in just a few minutes. Just to let you know what's going to happen from now on is, if you are in the 2021 summit, if you were part of the summit last year, you will get access to the 2021 summit on the new platform as well. So there were a few people who are part of the 2021 summit who didn't register for this year because the dates didn't work or whatever. But you will get an email just explaining how to access the 2021 content moving forward. And for those of you with all access passes in this year's summit, you are going to get the resource library this week in the next 7 days. And those sessions will be there all the time, PDFs and so on. But we're also going to be putting in some dates for interviews with cheerfully given sellers and artists and people who are working in different areas of creative practice throughout the year. Paul's going to be coming back and doing a session with us, and we have got a few things lined up over the coming months. So you'll get information about that, and then obviously we can keep in touch, yay, in the forums. So that is super exciting. And there is going to be sort of new things added. So do keep an eye out on your emails as well, because I'll email you probably once a month to say, here's what's coming up this month, here's what we've added to the resource library, and so on as well. So thank you for your patience last year, when last year was just a hot mess. But we are super excited for the creativity that is going to be much more easily accessible and shareable through our new platform. And you will also be able to share the platform with other people, because while the summit is paid access and the Bible Journaling Club is paid access as well, the beauty of this new summit space and this new platform is that the community space can be accessed by anyone. You don't need to have bought something in order to be part of it and to have those conversations and ask questions. And we're also going to have some free resources available for people who want to access those as well. So there are paid things like the summit and the Bible Journaling Club and so on, but there's also space just for connection and community, and to encourage and resource one another in that space. So you'll be able to invite people onto it if there's anything that can be helpful to them. So you will see me again soon. And I just want to say thank you so much for being part of the summit this year. It's been such nice energy. I was really stressed about whether I was going to feel like well enough to like show up with the kind of high energy that we have with the summit, because of just how run down I was already. Then I got COVID and I was just like, oh no. And then, even though I've been unexpectedly more unwell than thought, it has been such a joy to be able to like hang out together and just have these times. So thank you so much for being part of it, and really excited for being able to do more of these sorts of things moving forward. One of the things that was on the plan for last year which I didn't talk about at the summit, but we literally have them like mapped out and everything, was a quarterly creative coffee morning, where you can live stream it into your church. And basically we have like little get-togethers in local churches, and then we have like an interview and a creative workshop, and you can just really easily host an invitation-based event to do something exploring creativity. So I'm hoping that we can do those now that things have started to like settle down a little bit. So all of that kind of thing. The projects that like the Cheerfully Given community are just really, really excited about. They're things that we'd love to involve you in if you're excited about being involved in those as well. And we're just really excited for doing life over the 12 months ahead, whatever it holds, because we know that in every circumstance, Jesus is with us. So we are going to announce the yes, you can still buy. Yeah, so Sarah's on that. So just saw the question come through there from Fee. Thank you so much, Sarah. You're so encouraging. And Judith, excited for Paul's music talk. Me too. Wendy, thank you to everyone who's helped bring the summit to us. Thank you so much, Wendy. So big thank you to Sarah and Becky, who are just absolute troopers behind the scenes, answering emails and making sure that people can log into things. And also to all of our speakers, we want to say special thank you to Paul for the effort and work that he put into his talks. And they've just been such a blessing. And to Lou and Nathan for leading us in worship, as well as to all of the amazing speakers who have been a part of this year's summit so far. And yeah, we're really excited for what you do with everything that you've been thinking about, and what the outcome of that is, even if that outcome, because like so often we think, oh, outcome, I need to go off and do a project. No, even if the outcome from the summit is like you feel excited to know and follow Jesus and to learn more about him in the Bible, that is incredible. Like that is literally goals exceeded, surpassed, absolutely brilliant. So whatever the impact of the summit is for you, we just really pray that it will bring you closer to Jesus, and that whatever you're finding your days involving, that you will walk in step with him and know the joy of walking with him as a result of this. So thank you all for being part of it. Enjoy rewatching any of the sessions that have spoken to you, or watching anything. An error occurred. Please try refreshing the page. So I've run out of the ability to block people, I think. But thank you for those of you who are blocking things. So thank you all for being part of it, and for so that's a thank you to the speakers. And then just to all of you who are like, the joy of these lives is literally hearing from you and us being able to be like interactive in that way. And it's just been so great to see you at this event and to be able to touch base with some of you in this way. And yeah, really grateful for the energy and the excitement and the joy and the vulnerability and the stories and the things that people have been willing to share as we've been exploring these different topics, and really just want to pray for all of you as we finish and wrap up this session together. And yes, just want to say thank you, and brilliant. I'm just like skimming through the I wonder, can I do? Okay, I think I can. So there we go. I've okay, I blocked some and put some in timeout. So I apologize. I'm not very good at multitasking, especially not at this time of night. But yeah, thank you all. And we're going to pray together, and then we're going to go and get some sleep, and then we'll talk in the community. I'm really excited for that. So let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for who you are. We thank you that you are the Lord Almighty, enthroned in the highest heaven. We just praise you and lift up our voices with the billions of angels and saints that surround the throne room of heaven and sing praise to the Almighty, the King of creation. And we want to lift up our voices and proclaim that you are our good Father. You are our Lord. You are the one who reigns on high. And we just praise and thank you for what life looks like as followers of Jesus, as children who have been brought into your family. We want to just praise and thank you for knowing Jesus and for the love that was poured out for us to be able to know him and to be part of the divine family. Heavenly Father, we ask as we come to the end of this session, that you would give us all restful and peaceful nights sleep, that you would restore our souls to know the peace and joy of Jesus, regardless of what's going on around us. Lord, help us to take the yoke of Jesus on us as we go into the week ahead, the yoke of Jesus that is light and easy, and that we can walk each day knowing our burdens have been taken by him, and to walk in the freedom of that and the joy of that. Lord, we ask that you would be with each individual person who has been part of the live stream tonight and who shared their experiences and their stories. Lord, we pray that you would bless them, that you would be just with them, and that they would know your presence, and that they would meet with Jesus through sight and hearing and smell and taste and touch, and that you would reveal yourself to us in all of these ways that we have explored during this summit. We thank you, we praise you, we ask that everything that we do as we step out into our communities, families, and localities would be done for the glory and honor of Jesus, to make him known and to share his life with all we meet. In his name we ask. Amen. So we are really dealing with a lot of YouTube spammers, and I apologize for that. I don't know how to fix it, but before we do another live stream, I'm going to figure out a way to block certain things from the chat there. So the business club giveaway, this is just Sarah being iconic, knowing that I was about to end the live stream, having forgotten to announce the winners, because I honestly thought I had announced the winners. So the winners for the business club are Helen Moyes Designs and Creative Deftly Living. So I'm going to put your names on the screen, and again I would just ask, as with our previous giveaways, that you pop us sorry, my words aren't working in any way, shape, or form. Here we go. Yeah, so it's on the same thing where it's not put a space between your names, but Helen Moyes Designs and Creative Deftly Living, you are the winners for the Cheerful Business Club giveaway. So we are delighted that you'll be joining us for 3 months inside the Cheerful Business Club, and look forward to supporting you with your businesses and helping you as you get started on this journey and continue to grow whatever stage you are at. So do email hello@cheerfullygiven with your details, and Sarah will make sure that you get set up with that. And it's just in time for us to have some good quarterly planning and reviews at the end of June and start of July. So we look forward to connecting with you on that. Thank you all so much for being part of the summit, and I'll chat to you all soon. As you're going through the sessions, do keep us posted in the community. I've been really quiet in there this week because I've been building out the tech stuff behind the scenes, like fixing bugs and things, but normally I will be in there chatting as well. So thank you to Sarah for being a great host and community manager, and do continue to chat and ask questions, and I will be back in there as soon as I've finished tweaking some of the things that haven't been working too well. And enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Thank you for being with me tonight, and hope you get a really good night's sleep. And just lots of love to everyone, and God bless all of you, and I'll see you all online again very soon. Bye.